Hey, what's up? I'm Guy.
I'm John.
This is our YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. Give this video a like.
Check out the podcast below in the description. Do that now. You have to go do that. Subscribe to the podcast.
I'll say this for Deshaun Watson trade rumors is that it hasn't been the same rumor every day for like 3 or 4 days. Every day there's something new. Deshaun said he was going to be consulted. He wasn't. Then I saw Benjamin Albright tweeted, well, from what I heard, they did stay in contact with him. They did touch base with him. Then there was Deshaun was a 2-level anger when they traded Hopkins. Now he's at a 10-level anger. Then there was the search firm recommended a Steelers exec and Louis Riddick, and on a plane, Cal McNair just hired Caserio. It doesn't feel like this thing is just one little isolated report and it's getting blown out of proportion and that's it. Like Deshaun's agent during Caserio's...
They have not hired a coach, though. So he
wanted
to dictate who they hired as a GM. I thought he's big on the coach, which they don't have yet.
I don't know. Maybe he's got a short list of GMs, John. He did a lot of interviews at the Combine. He probably knows a lot of GMs. You know, maybe he made a short... Maybe you're interviewing Deshaun Watson? No. Deshaun Watson's interviewing you. You didn't know it. The old switcheroo at the Combine. Deshaun's sitting there like 3-piece suit, fraud. So, you know, it does feel like this thing has legs. Now, whether to the Niners has legs, whether he's really going to get traded. Deshaun Watson is unhappy, has a lot of legs. Oh, I was going to say his agent, you saw that tweeted during Caserio's press conference. What was it about? I don't even remember. Kids, being a kid, something to be said for those of us who pulled ourselves out of the mud. Unlike, I think he was talking about the Texans owner, Cal McNair, basically saying like, "Oh wow, congrats on being a rich guy's son," is essentially what the tweet was.
And really quick on that, I regardless how powerful social media is, to me there is a level if we do business and in a situation when your client is being paid at those rates, we can all have thoughts of someone that we do business with. I can't even imagine hating a human being that's a part of a contract like that much.
When they're paying you that much, but you also hate them? Yeah,
but let's say you do. I don't think that's the way to go about it. Like that to me, kind of clown activity by the agent. I thought, regardless what he thinks and all the details, does nobody any good, but specifically his client, to tweet that out.
Deleted it.
I do think we have to wait to see who the coach is. Like, because it does feel that his anger right now is all over Eric Bieniemy, who has not been interviewed by them. But if I tell you Eric Bieniemy is their coach, now that feels like it would be very, very shocking if Caserio hires Eric Bieniemy. I think what the Watson camp believes is the coach is already predetermined. I know they're interviewing people, but like he's going to hire, and Charles Robinson tweeted like Brian Daboll. It's all like a Bob Lamont kind of orchestrated deal. And if Watson already knows that, like I already know you're just going to bring Patriot, basically. Fuck you guys. And once you asked here, I don't necessarily believe that you have to ask your quarterback, you know, like who should be our head coach. Like I still think we're at a time where like, yeah, I mean, what's he going to tell you? You should be able to do that on your own as an organization. But Cal McNair went on record and told Deshaun Watson, I want you to be part of the process. And maybe he was just trying to act cool and look good. But once you do that, you put yourself in this precarious situation where you're double fucked. Where you ask him, who do you want? And he tells you Eric Bieniemy, and then you don't hire him. You look like you didn't listen. Or 2, you told him you were going to ask and solicit his input, and then you don't reach out. It's like an FU, we actually didn't. We just said that for the public. We didn't care what you thought. And it clearly, one of those two, I don't know which one it was, but once you tell him that, then he just kind of expects it, you know?
Yeah.
If you hadn't told him that, maybe he still gets mad, but I don't know if his expectations were like, I had my short list ready.
Yeah. So, look, I'm with you. Like, I don't think you need to allow, basically, to put your quarterback on the search firm and I wouldn't want my quarterback to feel like he gets to make the call. But if he's my friend.
Rodgers didn't. Aaron
Rodgers did not.
Didn't get to.
No. But he also was in a situation that was a little different, right? That was they had a front office. Like, this is the owner with no football direction except for the preacher.
Uh-huh.
So
who is you might be able to take an educated guess. Deshaun Watson might have a red flag on that guy.
Might have a red flag, which it seems like most in the league have a red flag on him.
Yeah. It does feel like people are piling on a little bit. I
It
mean,
does.
is there a
It's
chance
very
it's not
easy
as
to
bad
pile
of a
on.
guy as he's getting painted to be?
Well, whether or not he's a bad guy, he's taking advantage of a situation is what people think. And, is that his fault or it's the gatekeeper's fault? The owner is the gatekeeper to the organization. Don't put your trust in the wrong people.
I think Watson
it's your job
hated
not
Bill
to get
O'Brien.
tricked.
I think he hated Bill O'Brien, and he thinks Easterby and Bill O'Brien represent New England, and he didn't like what they represented. And now he feels like they're just going back to that. And he's like, I don't want to be stuck here. Then you read all these reports like, trade me to the Dolphins. I want to get traded. That gets thrown around.
Tua's like, wait, what?
Moment. Yeah. And my response is, why do people think anyone would want Tua? Like, what about Tua and a 1 for Deshaun Watson? Do you think Caserio didn't watch the games? Like, he was in the NFC or AFC East. They played Tua. What are we talking about?
So, all right. So, look,
But then I saw that, Caserio loved Tua coming out. Yeah, and then he played. So he might have changed his opinion.
Yeah, if he's a hardhead. Well, maybe if you're the Niners, you hope he didn't change his opinion on Tua. Maybe it means he still sees value in Jimmy Garoppolo.
Well, he was there when they drafted him.
Yeah, I mean,
there is a decent chance he's a huge Jimmy Garoppolo fan, right?
Well, put it this way. If yes, there is. To answer your question, yes, there is a chance. A good chance.
He was around him. Do you see some of these pictures? It feels like he was like a hybrid. You see him coaching? He's in the coach's box. He's out there throwing passes with Tom Brady. I don't know what that guy's job was in New England, but he did a lot more than what I saw Howie Roseman and Brett Veach do. He's on warm-ups in the game, when it's 20 minutes before the game and the ones are against the ones on each of the sideline, he's helping Brady out. I'm like, what's this guy's role? No wonder he left. He's like, fuck, why am I taking snaps?
All of that is kind of weird to me.
Well, that's how Belichick does it.
I know, it's kind of weird to me. It's great for Bill. I don't know if it's great for everybody else.
It's incredible for Bill. It clearly doesn't work. He's down there on a knee giving Brady the ball. It's like, this guy's the GM.
Yeah. Look, if clearly there's enough smoke. Do you think there's enough smoke here? There's a difference between him wanting to get traded and him actually getting his wish.
I think right now, if you looked him in the eye, he'd be like, I want to get the fuck out of there.
Well, there's no doubt. But that's different than his team actually agreeing to do it.
Yeah.
This isn't the New Orleans Pelicans.
I think Caserio, this has the Houston Texans and the Patriots have played probably, it feels like every year for the last 3 or 4 years. So Belichick, Caserio, because he played this, he was basically the equivalent of the GM, even though he didn't have any power because of Belichick, but he also played these other roles. He's going to know Belichick's scouting report on him, right? Because he's part of the game plan, the way it works in New England. You an advanced scout. He's going to have an opinion do I think this guy's a star? He'll know what Bill thinks of him. And so to me, maybe he thinks, what if he's not a Deshaun Watson fan? He can say whatever he wants. I know he said, we want to build around Deshaun Watson. There is a chance that he does not want to do that. Maybe he would be open. They just traded DeAndre Hopkins.
Well,
the owner clearly – yeah, Bill did. But, the owner's so over his head, he'll do whatever these people – I don't think he knows anything about football. I've been told he's not the smartest guy. A little in the Mark Davis situation. I'm not saying I like Mark Davis. I don't know anything about this guy. But, Mark just hands it off. Reggie McKenzie, Jack Del Rio, John Gruden. You guys – if John Gruden wants to trade Khalil Mack, Mark Davis I don't think thinks it's as crazy because he's like, I fucking believe in whatever John Gruden's telling me.
Which is a good way to be an owner.
Yeah, it is. So Cal McNair is going to go, well, Easterby is telling me Jesus, and he's there's a religious undertones there. Undertones is the wrong word. Cal's a very religious person. And I think obviously Easterby is, and I saw Caserio in his press conference is very religious. So I think Cal McNair is just in with Easterby, who probably thinks Caserio's really good. He's going to listen to what those guys say. If they say, trade him to the 49ers for 2 1s and Jimmy Garoppolo, he will get traded. This isn't like something like that with the New York Giants or the Pittsburgh Steelers. That wouldn't fly like that, right?
Right.
But in this situation, it's just a possibility. I don't think it's likely, but it is one of the few places in the NFL that it could happen if Caserio wants it to happen.
So there's 2 elements to this. A, does he want it to happen? And B, if he did, would the Niners be willing to pay what it would cost? And then A1, would Jimmy Garoppolo going back to Houston offset any of the cost? Because if you told me, okay, the cost
2 1s and Jimmy?
If you told me the cost for Deshaun is 3 1s and 2 2s, let's just say, And I said, okay, well, everyone else is offering 3 1s and 2 2s. I'm going to throw in Jimmy Garoppolo. Which pick does that replace? I don't think does that replace one of the 1s, or does that replace one of the 2s?
Yeah, 2s.
It probably replaces the 2s.
Yeah, I mean,
unless Nick Caserio goes, but yeah, Jimmy's probably one of the 2s, but I'll take 2 1s and Jimmy and 2 2s because Jimmy Garoppolo represents a starting quarterback in 2021 for me. And I'll draft somebody with one of those other picks. He won't have to play right away. I'm a fan of not playing.
What was your final offer?
I said if Caserio would take 2 1s, Jimmy and 2 2s.
So you're giving 4 picks and Jimmy Garoppolo?
Well, I'm just asking. You're saying you would take 2 1s, a 2, and Garoppolo?
Listen, I like Deshaun Watson.
I'm not saying I would do it. I'm just saying, who does Caserio? How much does he value him? Garoppolo.
Because to me, 2 1s and 2 2s, like that is so much to give up. And I understand from the Texans standpoint. I'm going to use Jimmy then to trade, hopefully, the Patriots for like a 3rd-round pick to use as an asset. If I got to give Jimmy 2, I can't give up that much. That's where I don't think.
To me, you can't get away with just giving up 1 1 and Garoppolo.
That's where I think the trade gets very, very difficult. Can you imagine a general manager signing off on like 3 1s for a player, even if it is a quarterback? Like that's. And I know everyone always goes like, give us 6 1s from Mahomes or whatever. It's easy to say because it never happens. And then when you kind of start writing it down, you're like, is he really going to pull the trigger on that?
So I'm not going to have a 1st-round pick until which year?
Well, did you hear in the Seattle game when they're like, the Rams' last 1st-round pick was Jared Goff?
They're surviving. I give them that.
Well, because they've hit on like 4 or 5 guys. Like you got to hit. You can't hit doubles. You got to hit home
also
runs.
the one they traded ones, but
they doubled down.
They got Jalen Ramsey, so it's like you got a guy out there playing like a 1st-round pick. What would Parag say? He'd go, wait a second, guys, hold on, let me do the math on this. 2024, as our team gets more expensive.
I don't think you can do that.
So you would need.
I would do
2 1s in Garoppolo.
2 1s, a 2, and Jimmy Garoppolo. That would be my max. Because I go, I'm paying Kyle $11 million. I got Sean McVay who's winning with Jared Goff. Can't you draft a guy? I don't love doing that.
Here's the other part of this, right? Like, when does Deshaun Watson want? If he were to get traded, when's that trade happening? Is it happening before Kyle Shanahan's watched all his Trey Lance cut-ups? Is it happening before he's watched all of his Davis Mills tape?
Well, I mean, technically it wouldn't become official till March 14th or whatever. Yeah, Kyle would have a little time to do all that.
That's important.
Because I think if you're the Texans and you are trading him, you're in no rush, right? I mean, you got the next month, just like, just keep calling away.
Also, you might spend a lot of time just trying to convince him to stay, re-recruiting him once you get your head coach.
Guess right now, do you think he gets traded?
No.
The reason he gets traded, or the reason I don't think he gets traded either, the Patriot people are nuts, right? Just look at all their histories. Bill O'Brien, crazy. Mangini, fucking nuts. The guys in the Lions, I mean, they went in there like
Charlie Weiss.
They were just Weiss. I mean, these guys are crazy because I think they see Bill Judge.
Josh McDaniels.
Coaches run. Yeah, Josh McDaniels was like trading Brandon Marshall, hated Cutler. They do crazy shit.
Let me get Tebow.
If you just look at the history of the guys, and then Caserio, who'd been there the entire time, so if you got to be that crazy to last around Bill for 20 years, they are the architect, or like the types, like their history, their like the way they build a franchise is not really normal a lot of times. Like they do shit that always drives people in the media crazy. Like what? That isn't, or they make Twitter blow up. Like Caserio would be the type that might trade him. I just think on the other side, like convincing a GM to give up that many assets, it's just that's tough.
Yeah.
Because at least you just know the going rate. Like, yeah, you want just pick a player. Like Myles Garrett was on he's not, but based on Khalil Mack, Jalen Ramsey, it'd be like, yeah, 2 1s, a 2, and a 3 or something. It'd be, but the price. Like, what is the price for a 25-year-old in his prime quarterback? They don't ever. We always like Khalil Mack. They never get traded. Quarterbacks never get traded when they're good.
Deshaun's a young 25. It kind of feels like too.
Yeah, it would be insane. But Belichick guys are insane enough to think about it. Okay. Like I do think he's thinking about it. Like they're going through the scenarios. That's what Belichick.
Because he's thinking maybe I could get 3 1s and 2 2s.
Yeah, well, what would Josh McDaniels or Patricia or some of these guys do? I think they'd trade him, right?
Well, to me, Josh McDaniels knows how hard it is to get a quarterback because he drafted Tim Tebow.
No. I'm saying Josh McDaniels like 08.
Oh, yeah.
Not this version. I'm saying that version. I'm saying when you come out with like piss and vinegar and you're like, I'm the man now.
Yeah.
I got away from him.
I'm going to put my imprint on this organization by spending the next 8 years looking for a quarterback.